we have on our call here today myself. I'm Michael Ray, CEO of Notary2Pro, and we have Sabrina Engelstadt, who is our marketing and kind of jack of all trades, right? So happy to have you here. And Andrea Douling has joined us. Andrea is one of our faculty here at Notary2Pro. How are you, Andrea?
I'm doing great. How are you two?
You're doing good, and not visible on camera because she's working through some technical issues is Stephanie Rowland, another one of our very experienced faculty members here at Notary2Pro. So welcome everybody. Just a reminder, we do these roundtables on about a monthly basis, and our goal is to present 30 minutes of really impactful information, all geared towards how you grow your business, expand your skills, or just make work and life better. So today we have a timely topic, marketing your business in a down market. We're going to talk a little bit about some survey results. We had a really good survey results, I think very enlightening. So we'll talk a little bit about this, and then you'll also hear from our faculty on some of the best kind of marketing ideas, marketing concepts for your notary business. So with that, should we get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Good.
Okay, Stephanie, I know we can't see you, but can you hear us? And
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
We can. Awesome.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we're disappointed not to have you on camera. You keep working on that, but we're just happy to have you here. So
Thank you.
with that. Sabrina, I think you wanted to present some of your survey results first. Would that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll go over a little bit of those graphs in a little, but I wanted to talk about the survey first. So we conducted this to kind of see what marketing, what areas of marketing that notaries and loan signing agents really needed support with right now. And we also wanted to get some feedback from really experienced loan signing agents. So these are people who have been in the industry for 5 to 10 years. So they've seen really the ups and downs of the markets, and they've gone through it before. So we really just wanted some of their intel. So sorry, they're the speakers. Okay.
Oh yeah, I should have put that on the screen when we were introducing everybody. Sorry about that. But...
Sorry. But okay, so the first question we kind of went through was how have loan signing agents with the 5 to 10 years of experience dealt with downs in the market? So although we are dealing with marketing in this roundtable, I thought it was really important to show that most of these loan signing agents who have, been really resilient through the markets, they're getting through this through other forms of income as well. So I just thought that was really important to highlight, as well as just, being resilient. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. A lot of people have other, this is, for a lot of people, this is a side gig. For some people, it's a full-time gig, but most people look at this as sort of one of the tools in their tool belt, right?
Yeah, exactly.
To live and income. I love that you. So what was that number, Sabrina? For other forms of income, what did we end up with? How many people?
It was close to 60% of people. And so I went and asked those people, so if you rely on other forms of income, what are they? And so this is this graph. So if you took the survey and you didn't have 5 to 10 years of experience, you wouldn't have seen these questions. But you can see here, majority is general notary work, part-time work, other things. So it's a lot. There's a lot of different areas that people are dabbling into, make ends meet when the market's down.
Wow, great. Andrea, Stephanie, any comment on any of these? Or I know we talked a lot about general notary work last time, but are there other areas of work that you're really pursuing that you'd like to mention?
So I know Stephanie does remote online notarization, and I am not there yet, but I'm definitely intrigued to hear about that and how that's relatively new here in Maryland. So I'm interested to hear about that. I know quite a few people who have become a wedding officiant, and they do very well with that. We spoke last month about general notary work in Maryland, and in Maryland it's not that lucrative at all, but I am hearing some scuttlebutt that they're considering changing that at the state level. So I'm intrigued to see where that goes.
What's driving that change, Andrea? Is it because people can't find notaries?
People can't find notaries, and there are quite a few notaries that sit on the board there that have spoken about how the $5 and then I think the max for travel you can do is $5 or something like that, how that just is not good enough. It's not worth us traveling a far distance to try to help someone out. And like I said, the last time, I look at general notary work in my area just as me giving back to the community, not me actually making any money from it, because it's not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope that changes for the notaries in Maryland. That'd be a great change. Hey, Stephanie, you are our remote online notary guru.
It's lucky you guys can't see my face right now.
Why is that?
Because I'm not an expert. I've just been doing them, I mean, I'm learning like everybody else, but I have a lot under my belt.
Yeah, a lot of experience. So you're always very modest, Stephanie, but I think when you've done as many of them as you have with the different platforms, it gives you a certain level of expertise. Does it surprise you that less than 30% of notaries are pursuing that sort of work?
I don't think so, because I've interviewed a few notaries in my area that use different platforms, to do general notary work. And it's just not cost effective, because with a lot of the platforms, you have to pay a monthly or a yearly fee, and the platform takes money out of your fee. So in the long run, you're really not making that much money at this point. And it really hasn't gotten started a lot with loan signings in my state. I mean, I do some for some title companies. But I don't know. I think a lot of notaries are going from platform to platform, trying them out, because a lot of them are just finding that there's too many technical difficulties and the clients are frustrated. That's about all I know.
So your remote online notarizations generally would be considered general notary work?
The ones I'm
loan
doing are loan signings.
Oh, okay.
Because I at this point, I don't want to pay for a platform, because I'm not making any money at this point. You have to bring your own clients, and as a notary, you don't often get repeat clients. I have in the past, but for me at this point, it's just not lucrative to do so.
So, Stephanie, before we move on really quick, I wanted to ask you, some people in the chat want to know which RON platforms that you have found to be easier and cost effective.
So for me, I have not paid for any platforms. I use title companies that provide the platforms. So the two platforms that I'm really familiar with are Pavaso and Nexus ClearSign. I know those platforms inside and out. I've done hundreds of RON closings. So I don't know how to answer that question. I know right now notarize.com is offering the platform for free till the end of December. And you can bring your own clients, and I don't believe I think they take $8 out of every notarization.
And that's a fee that the notary pays out of each.
No, that's a fee that the notary pays, that the company takes from their fee of $25 or whatever the fee is.
Yeah.
So if I may, I don't want to just talk about Ron, but I'm intrigued. You said that the loan signing companies that you work with, they partner with the vendor or the platform. So which companies do you work with that use Pavaso, and I think you said Nexus?
I don't know that I want to say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's I don't know that I want to at this point, but they own the platforms themselves. So they're not subscribing to some other platform. They own the platform. They created the platform.
Yeah. And by the way, Stephanie, we respect your, confidentiality, treating your employers with confidentiality.
Mhm.
I know Andrea didn't intend.
No,
to,
I know that. I know that.
You're just curious. I'm sure you're just curious. Sabrina, could you go back just one one page?
Yes.
Can we do that? But before we get off the remote online notarization, we'd love to hear from the audience in terms of particularly successful platforms. If anybody on the call has used a platform that's been successful for them. And by the way, we will follow up with every one of our roundtables with some information. So if you want to share, we'll make sure that gets out to the Notary2Pro audience. One of the things that I don't understand with this, well, I do understand because these platforms have been created with the idea of extracting revenue from either transactions or from users, right? They're either hitting up the notary or they're hitting up or taking a share of a transaction in order to provide the platform. But it does seem a little strange that we've created this business model where we're asking customers to do something that's a significant enhancement in terms of the quality and the convenience of a signing, right? And they've made it easier for title companies or escrow companies because now all the documents are electronic. The only person who's really inconvenienced out of this whole process is the notary, because we have to learn a new platform and learn how to do all this online and deal with the technical issues associated with the platform. And then on top of that, we're paying for the privilege. It just seems kind of backwards. If you agree, please let us know in the chat. If you disagree, tell me I'm an idiot. And that's and we'll move on. But
Personally,
and
I
it's-
feel like they rolled Ron out way too quickly. They didn't, whoever they is, didn't do their homework, and COVID made it happen faster. And so everybody kind of has their hand in all sorts of different areas, and we're all trying to figure out what's going on. Does that make sense, what I just said?
Yeah, I think it does, Stephanie. I mean, COVID really accelerated the whole process. A lot of states rolled this out because of the lockdowns and because of what was going on with COVID. Sabrina, did you get any guidance from the survey on other and what was there under that big category of other?
Yeah. I can't pull it up right now because I'm sharing, but
okay.
Sorry.
Do you recall?
I shared them today with you guys. A lot of them were other like other jobs. Some of them we
Other jobs.
Yeah, other kind of jobs. There were a few other that weren't on here, but I can add them in after. I'm just
okay. I thought if there was something that maybe jumped out at you, that's fine. Okay, thank you.
But a lot of people are agreeing with you in the chat right now. And then Stephanie, there was one question: is Pavaso free?
Yeah, I was just going to answer that. So if I use it with the title company, yes, it's free. But I think that I can't really answer that question because I've only used it for free. I think you can use that platform to do general notary work. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I haven't completed all of my research yet.
Yeah, and just so our audience knows, we're actually conducting some research now on RON platforms and RON signing to be able to publish this and spread this kind of information out to our audience. So, and Stephanie is leading the charge on that right now. So great. Okay.
Next. All right. So then we kind of asked our survey takers, what marketing methods and techniques do they need support with right now? And so you can see on the chart, it's pretty evenly distributed, but yeah, I just wanted to display it so you guys can see that marketing all around is in need of support and people are interested in how to do it.
Great. So this is an indicator of what people need support on,
Mhm.
right? Can I ask our faculty, which of these are things you're actively doing to promote your business?
So, let's see, cold calling, I haven't done that in quite a bit, but I have stopped by the local title and escrow companies
Mhm,
to just let them know that my services is available.
mhm,
If they don't know I exist, then there's no money coming in. So I have to constantly remind them, hey, and people do it all the time with stopping by with goodie bags. I'm sure people have heard about that. But in
Yeah.
those goodie bags, you want all of the essential information, like how to contact you, what you're good at, the
mhm,
fact that you're familiar with refinances and HELOCs and purchases and buyer
mhm,
transactions. And so that for sure, I do, because just relying on SnapDocs or relying on signing order is not enough. If that's all you're doing, you're in essence having someone else market you. And so
mhm.
you can't leave your business in somebody else's hands. This is your business. You're in control of it. You're driving the car. So it's really important that we get out there and we market ourselves, and we go to, in my area, we have a bunch of Chamber of Commerce events,
Mhm.
and some of them are free, some of them cost money. But when you go to these events, there
Mhm.
are a slew of escrow officers there. There are a slew of loan officers there. So it's like the perfect place to have your business card handy and just to strike up conversation, start creating relationships. So those types of things is what I have really been doing.
Great. But there's a lot to unpack in there. But Stephanie, what about you? Does what Andrea just talked about sort of resonate with you?
Yeah, it does. And for all of those, all of you newbies out there, you know, the people that are seasoned, those of us who are seasoned notaries, we get nervous just like anybody does when we're out marketing ourselves. For me, it's not one of my favorite things to do, but I have started cold calling again, sending emails. You know, I've been out for a lot of months due to going through chemotherapy. So I'm starting basically all over again.
Mhm.
Not quite, but pretty much. So I'm trying to figure out social media networking. Everywhere I go, I tell people I'm a notary. I'm starting to get lined up some community events, following up with existing customers. And like I've been going to some UPS and FedEx stores, offering them my
Mhm.
business card. But it's very overwhelming because I feel like I have my hands in so many areas, and sometimes I just want to scream. Like I feel so overwhelmed. But that's when you just have to take it day by, one day at a time, and look at what you've accomplished and
Mhm.
not get overwhelmed with all the things that you have to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And by the way, if you're gonna scream, just let us know and we'll put you on mute. But no, it is overwhelming, and especially we're dealing with the down market, and I think you have some stats on that, Sabrina, a little later. But we are dealing with the down market, and so people are feeling the pressure to go out and promote their business.
Right.
I really, we should have asked Sabrina about generational differences about this, because I think those of us of a certain age are pretty comfortable reaching people on the phone or going out in person and knocking on doors or visiting an office. I wonder how, not to pick on you, but I wonder how someone your generation would feel about that.
Well, we'll just text.
Or just text,
That
right?
is true. You guys just text. You don't even believe in phone calling.
Yeah.
I know my grandkids and my daughters don't.
Or Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Instagram, everybody. I don't know, Snapchat, whatever.
I've even heard some notaries do things on TikTok. Now I'm not on TikTok. I don't know
Yeah,
a thing
me
about
too.
TikTok.
I'm like, yeah.
But I've heard some notaries market, or they'll even teach how to be a notary, and it's like little 10-second snippets
Mhm.
of just valuable information. And so they
Yeah.
advertise that way as well.
That's smart. Certainly reaching a certain demographic,
Mhm.
right?
Yes,
I wouldn't discount anything, but let's go back to in-person visits. These are people that you have met before, Andrea, or maybe have never met before.
No, never,
So
never. And
you walk it
maybe
into an office.
walk into the office, I got my little goodie bag, I'm dressed professionally, I'm ready to talk it up about how good and wonderful I am, which is a huge uncomfortable conversation. It's like
Mhm.
going on an interview for a
Yeah.
job or something. Talking about myself is not something I like to do at all, but
Mhm.
I'm looking at the end result. I want my business to flourish. I want money to steady coming in and me having endless possibilities as far as what I want to do. So
Mhm.
I have to step outside of my comfort zone to make that happen.
Yeah. I think, that one way to look at it is you're in there asking for something. But another way to look at it is you're actually bringing something really valuable to them. And I don't mean the goodie bag, but your
Mhm.
skill, right? One of the things that I hear in my work all the time is that in this country, we are dealing with a massive, massive talent shortage at every level, right? So there's a million notaries out there. I don't actually, that's not a true statement. We have a
no,
lot
it
of
is.
notaries
It's a
in the
true
United
statement.
States. We have a lot. It's not a million. I don't want to get quoted by saying there's a lot, right? But how many good ones are there? How many are the ones that these title and escrow officers can count on
Mhm.
to do an awesome job? So you're bringing something really valuable to that. And so when you walk in, don't think about it as going hat in hand and asking for something. Instead, you're bringing something of value. Speaking of bringing something of value, though, what's in your goodie bag? I mean,
All sorts of stuff. You should have seen, especially during COVID, and I was able to find hand sanitizer and the
Oh,
wet
yeah.
wipes and all of that, and there was none on the shelf. So I was a hot commodity. They were happy I was stopping by during that time,
I
especially.
bet. So, Stephanie, you ever bring goodie bags?
In the very beginning I did, but
Uh-huh.
I tend to believe a different way. I feel like I would rather go in selling myself than
Mhm.
what do I want to call it?
Collateral?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to go in with bribes.
Yeah.
I'm from a different era. I don't feel like you need to be giving them all sorts of treats to get business from them.
Yeah, I see that. I also, I think sometimes it's more about you've got sort of let's call it a door opener and something to talk about, It doesn't, I want to be careful. We don't want to bring, like, you don't have to bring anything expensive, right?
No.
Matter of fact, it's not really worth the investment. Don't show up with $100 bottle of bourbon, although I would appreciate that. I don't, most customers can't accept something like that, but it's really just a door opener, right? It's just a little thing. And if it's something that they remember, that's probably valuable.
And that's all I'm hoping for, that when
Uh-huh.
they are in need of a notary, they remember me. And so
Mhm.
it's not every time I walk through the door, I have a goodie bag, but
Yeah.
that first initial time that
Uh-huh.
I walked in, yes, I did. And then after that, it's kind of like, hey, I'm still here. Or I would
Yeah.
shoot them an email. Something else I would do is I would shoot them an email letting them know my availability.
Uh-huh.
Around here, oftentimes I would hear that we have in-house notaries. Well, the thing
Uh-huh.
with in-house notaries is they only work during the times that the business is open. So
Right.
my services is available on weekends, on nights, early mornings, whatever the case may be. So
Mhm.
there's that benefit. So at the end of the day, I just want them to remember that my
Mhm.
services is available.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Ellen had a really awesome, Sheila had a really awesome comment in the she said that she leave pens with your contact information on them.
Mhm.
So that's a cheap and inexpensive
Yeah.
way for someone to remember you.
Yep.
Mhm.
I agree with that. Pens, business cards, that kind of thing,
Mhm.
but not overdoing it like Michael said.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Unless
I
you're
wouldn't do
coming
that
to
like
my
this.
house, you can bring a $100 bottle of bourbon. It's okay. But mhm.
Only if I can enjoy it with you.
Yeah. So, anybody here, have you done cold calling? Has anybody had experience with cold calling? I know we talked about personal visits, but cold calling's tough. And maybe we should poll the audience to see if anybody's had success with cold calling. My cold calling 20 years ago was really effective. I think today all you're going to get is voicemail, and if nobody's ever going to call you back, and you're more likely to annoy the person you called than
Yeah.
to generate interest. But I'd
I
love to hear from the audience whether that's true or not.
Yeah, so some of the comments say that I cold call assisted living facilities and they keep my pens, and I do get calls from them. You have to fill out the secretary and gather information, and they'll follow up with an email. Some people are saying, yeah, I usually get a voicemail or a receptionist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think a targeted cold call, like they're saying, is probably smart. Assisted living uses a lot of general notary work. So,
Mhm.
okay. Should anything else we should cover on this slide, Sabrina, or should we move it along? Oh, actually, we're almost out of time. So, where should we go?
Let me click through. Stop share. Yeah.
Okay.
But I wanted to talk a little bit about what the more experienced loan signing agents from our survey said. So they actually reported that during the times where they're looking for other forms of income or just for other ways to market, that they are knocking on doors at nursing homes, assisted and independent living facilities. This is where they get a lot of return. They also said prisons, hospital, and elderly center notarizations are popular. They talked about legal intake files, field inspections, and even doing like web consulting and fingerprinting, because you'll probably have some experience with that within this field. So yeah.
Is it have Stephanie, Andrea, have you had any experience with fingerprinting at all? No.
You're touching
Not
on a
me.
bad subject there.
Oh, a bad subject. Oh, I didn't mean you being fingerprinted because they're taking you into the
No.
cell. That would be
No,
Sabrina.
I
He's an
did.
escaped convict.
I did attempt to start a fingerprinting business. However, in my area, it was not lucrative at all because it's state ran and you have to be a vendor. So in the end, I ended up just wasting my money.
Yeah. The other thing is that I'd love to know if any of our audience has a different viewpoint, but in Arizona, at least, the people who are doing fingerprinting are generally speaking, they're very experienced, like they work for a police department or something, and you would not believe how fast they can fingerprint a group of people. It's amazing. I've watched this happen a couple times, and they can get through a room of 60 people in like 20 minutes. So it would take 20 minutes just for me to fingerprint one person. So any other closing thoughts? Because I cannot believe how fast these calls go. We're already at a half an hour. Closing thoughts. Anything that we didn't talk about on the survey, Sabrina?
There's one more question, but I think we covered everything on the survey. One more question, just asking about marketing with attorneys, marketing to attorneys.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think it is important to note that yes, the market is what it is right now, but it's a wave. It's always a wave, and you're just riding that wave. Now, because during COVID times, there was a slew of notaries that came on. Just know that there's also a slew of notaries that are considering leaving the job because it's not bringing in money.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, if you're resilient and you hold on, that business and you
Mhm.
continue to market yourself, that business will start picking up because there are notaries that are falling out of the business. So
Mhm.
just something to keep that in mind. It is not a perfect wheel that's going to be the same next year and next year and the next year. It's just something
Mhm.
that is forever changing. And so we just have to roll with it.
Yes,
I think that's an excellent, excellent point. Thank you for mentioning that, Andrea, because it is exciting when we're in an up market and there's more work than you can handle, right? That's exciting. But you tap into your own resilience and your own resources and stick with it, and it will bounce back. It always has over. I know from my mom's experience, it bounced back over and over and over. She rode that wave up and down for 40 years or something. So anyway, well, good discussion. I hope that this was valuable to our audience. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And Sabrina, thanks for the great survey and the results. And Andrea and Stephanie, we so appreciate you joining us on this call. And Stephanie, we want to see your smiling face next time.
if I can figure out my camera, I do not know what happened to it.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you
Bye.
all.
Bye,
Thank
you guys.
Bye,
All right.
everyone.
All right. Bye-bye. Hello, I'm Michael Ray, CEO of Notary2Pro. Thanks for joining us for this webinar. Be sure to see our website, notary2pro.com, for more information and resources. Also, don't forget to sign up with us there for great additional updates, news, and tools. Notary2Pro is the most respected professional signing agent course in the United States. Founded by Carol Ray in 2009, Notary2Pro has trained more than 10,000 notaries to become professional signing agents. Our graduates are preferred by more signing agencies because only Notary2Pro enables notaries to practice error-free signings. Thanks again, and see you next time.